local gods. My name is Marco Liu.
And I'm James Han.
And today we have the special honor of having Daisy Wang, the founder of DAWANG.
Yes.
DAWANG, New York,
Yeah.
right?
Well, we're gonna probably scratch that New York out a little.
Okay.
Later on, yeah.
We will talk more about that,
Yeah.
but why DAWANG? And I'm pronouncing it the Chinese way,
Yeah.
and I'm pronouncing it in a very theatrical way, because
Yeah.
DAWANG literally means great king.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that if you watch Chinese movies, Chinese TV dramas, it's very DAWANG, like very much an honorific.
Mm-hmm.
So why such a big, bold name for your fashion line?
Well, it's actually a nickname from high school that my friends would, because my full name is Daisy Wang, so they would be like, oh, DAWANG. So that's kind of like where the inspo came from. Like, I actually met up with that friend who started calling me this name like a few years back. I was like, hey, you're the inspo for where this brand is coming from. But I love like the wordplay that, it makes sense in Chinese as well. So that we actually, when we first started up, I had a few other names in mind, but end of the day, I was like, for me to represent me, I have to include my last name and kind of like educate step by step, like each character, what does that mean? And I love that, like Wang as a general character, it makes sense, or there's an understanding of it in both like Japanese, Chinese, Korean culture.
Oh, for sure.
The same thing, yeah. So we also kind of wanted to bring that bridge of how we can celebrate like Asian culture together in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad actually was so against it.
Really? Why?
The brand, he was just like, in Chinese culture, like in the traditional sense, that you never wanted to be so full of yourself.
You don't want to be boastful.
You don't want to be too full. So he was
I
like,
see.
that is like such a big word that you wanted to take over everything. But are you sure? Like, always wanted to be a little humble, hide that like 5 to 10%. But I was like, yeah, Dad, we can't be like Xiao Wang. Like the
What's
small.
Xiao Wang?
Little
Xiao
king?
is like little.
Ah,
I was just like, we can't be like Xiao Wang if we have to do it, if we're representing our Chinese culture. If that's our base for the brand, I think that one makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's so true, because I think for a lot of Asian Americans, they've grown up being used to diminishing themselves and making themselves basically invisible. But that's not your background, right?
Yeah, so that is also something I guess I learned every step, because my background is I was born and raised in China, Qingdao, moved here for my high school experience in Northern California, and then from there went to Parsons, went to New York for my fashion design degree, and decided to stay and started up the brand. So to me, I feel like growing up, I've always been very proud of my ancestors, my descendant, and my history and my culture. I loved history as one of my favorite subject growing up. So learning about our history, learning about, all these dynasties when we went through, I've always been very proud. So like coming here, it was definitely a culture shock for me, like, like appropriation, this vocab I was never familiar with until I was here. I was just like, wow, I thought everyone just loves and appreciates. Whereas this
You would
word
think.
I would think, yeah. So every step of the way from, me being in high school, like growing up, it's like the ending part of my childhood, like teenage years, to starting up the brand, step by step, I started learning about like how Asian Americans were treated so differently, or like had such a different background growing up versus the Asian kids growing up in Asia. Like we were, I guess, just through education, you were taught to be proud of your culture, of your country, of your history. So that difference I'm still getting familiar with, just because I'm not American born. Like I know I lack a lot of these like experiences. So yeah, it's been different, but we're trying to still pace our way to see, okay, where can we highlight these like culture, these aesthetics to make people proud again, which you see the trend, you see like over the past 5 years, definitely like at least people that I'm encountering with, you can tell that they're much more proud versus like when I was back in college. When I encounter with these like Asian American friends, you can tell that they don't want to
We're walking around like
highlight the Asian part. Yeah, it's more about that we're American.
Yeah.
Like I was born and raised here. Like I'm very different from you. I feel like that gap is closing down.
For sure.
by little, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you came to America at what age?
At 15.
At 15. Okay. So those are like prime.
That was like
formative
last year.
years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just
Dang,
turned
Daisy.
18.
Wow.
Hey, that's
Amazing.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like right now I just turned 30, 31, so it's a half and half. I spent my first
Wow.
half
Yeah.
in Asia and my second half here.
Which half do you like better?
Honestly, both.
What's been a better
yeah.
experience?
Food wise, I'll always go back to China. Like, there's no doubt. Yeah, but when it comes to like, I mean, I actually had a conversation with my mom about this where she kind of regrets sending me out at such a young age. But she'd be like, she didn't get to witness me growing to like, say, 18 as a milestone or then 21.
Yeah.
So she still
Right.
sees
Getting
me
your
as
first paycheck.
Exactly. So she still
Oh.
sees me as a 16-year-old. Whenever I go home, she'll be like, home by 10 p.m. I'm like, Mom, I'm 30.
I pay my own income tax, Mom.
Exactly.
I pay for my
Mom,
own
like,
insurance.
Stop treating me like I'm 16. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been interesting. Yeah.
Man, so the inspiration behind Dawang's like design and like all the clothes you put out. For one, I do like just looking at your catalog, a lot of the pieces and how they're presented, I do find myself thinking like if an Asian American were to do it, they probably wouldn't do it this way. Because I think there's like some self-consciousness in it. So where do you come from as your designer pieces? Because you guys do everything from brocade dresses to like fun tops and like basically all sorts of mainly women apparel and then some men apparel too?
Yeah, some unisex apparel that we just started launching like 2 years ago.
Okay, got it.
But I think it definitely comes from my background and my experience for sure. Like when I first started up the brand, I guess my entire focus was that I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to let people know that, you know, this modern Chinese lifestyle and culture can be accessed to everyone. As long as you show your love, you show that you wanted to learn about it. We're not just tailoring to the Asian American or like the Asian community. We wanted to celebrate this love to, you know, throughout like different backgrounds, different ethnicities. But it wasn't until like, so if you can tell from our first season is still a little bit more traditional, I want to say. Like there's a lot more higher collar, like cheapao silhouettes in a different, you know, more modern fabric. But it wasn't until later on when I started learning about, you know, the appropriation, the kind of like sensitivity there is in the American retail market, where we actually received a lot of love from like non-Asian customers. But I always appreciate, but I feel like at the same time I feel bad is they would DM us or, you know, email us, be like, hey, I am non-Asian, I love your brand, would it be appropriate for me to wear this? Can I wear this? Can I buy
Oh,
this?
that's so crazy.
Yeah, we actually even had like Japanese, Korean customers that would email us the same thing. And to me, I was just like, I am very grateful that this is in your mind that you would ask this question, but this is also the barrier that we kind of wanted to break off, that we wanted you to see these garments, these like say the denim pants, the hoodies as an individual element to your daily accessible lifestyle versus thinking, oh, I'm wearing an Asian costume. I'm wearing something that can't be touched because this is just for galas, for events, for special holidays. So I was actually really inspired by the founder of Uniqlo. I can't quote him. I don't remember the direct quote, but he mentioned something that for them, there are offering all these clothings as elements for you to piece it together and create your own style. I feel like that end of the day was really what inspired me a lot as to why we're transitioning our styles from the first season to now, is that we wanted to make sure when you see this, you can view them as elements. That'll be like, oh, if I'm wearing this, people can tell that I love brocade. People can tell that I'm learning about this part of the culture, this part of the history. But at the same time, I'm pairing it with my Western tailored jeans or like my track pants from another streetwear or other lifestyle brand. We wanted to kind of like bring people out of this, I want to say this sphere that we kind of locked ourselves in, and be like, I can't touch a lot of different cultures, a lot of like other cultures if I'm not from that background.
Yeah. Do you ever, something I love asking people who are in the fashion world, like when you're thinking about your brand and the clothes that you are making, is there like a prototype or like a typical customer profile that you have?
Yeah, I think that's me. I am the targeted customer, which is also why I started the brand right after Parsons, was because I think being in a design school, especially freshman year, I was so shocked by like all the different styles, how expressive you can be through fashion. Because I went to a boarding school, so we had like strict night out.
It's the opposite of that.
The complete opposite. So like I still remember my first day being in my college dorms. The first question I asked my dorm mate was, "So when is our night out? Like when do we have to shut our lights?" And they're like, "Girl, you're in New York. You're in college. Like what?" What are you talking about?
There's no
there's no curfew, there's no lights out, there's no dorm check. I actually asked them about dorm check. I was like, are we gonna have dorm checks every week? Like what how is this gonna work out? They're like, no such thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so that kind of like opened the gate for me to be like a lot more expressive through like my daily style, through like how the way that I lived in New York. And that's when I started to realize that as a customer, like as a person who's looking for outfits, I always tend to lean towards something that can express my identity and my cultural background. So I would always go back to China, bring back some more like, I want to say traditional, like those like collared button tailored shirts and stuff. And that's when I realized that, wow, as a fashion design major, like I want this to be a little bit more modernized, a little bit more fitted to me. But there weren't any brands, especially in the Western market at the time, that I feel like, oh, this is me. And because of the background of going to boarding school, I have a lot of friends my age who also come from like, different like Asian backgrounds that moved over around 14, 15, that we always wanted to express both sides of the world. So I saw that the market there, and also among my Asian American friends, like I feel like I went to college, I started college 2013 in New York, and I think since then you notice the growth of Asian community in New York and California, everywhere, and especially like the love for other background people to wanting to learn about these like Asian cultures, especially like just from food and restaurants. I remember my freshman year, I would have to like walk 10 blocks out to go to our only Kung Fu tea at the time, our only boba shop at the time.
That's
what a tragic.
Yeah.
That is
But low-key,
tragic.
I loved that era though. I love that era.
I still will go back to Kung Fu tea from time to time.
Yeah.
I know they're not
Hey,
like milk, but yeah, I love
Hater,
it.
dude. He's a hater.
I come from the land of abundance, because even when I was a kid, like there was still at least one boba place within walking distance. Now there's like 5.
Exactly. But in New York at the time, I feel like it's not as available as in California. So I remember there was only one Kung Fu tea that I had, and one Gong Cha.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's in like different parts of Manhattan. That's like 20 to 40 blocks away.
Okay.
Versus like my junior year in college, there were boba shops, I want to say, every other 5 blocks.
Yeah.
And like also authentic Chinese food, authentic Asian food, you see them like blowing up in New York. So that was the time when I realized, I was like, wow, like if people are accepting our culture from the food as an entry, then there's so much more.
What's the big hurdle between introducing someone to like Chinese or Asian food compared to like Asian inspired or type of fashion? Well, what are the differences for you, like the hurdles that you think people experience?
I want to say it's definitely much easier for them to accept it from the food level versus the fashion retail level, but that's also something that we wanted to push, because I've realized that there's not much available modern Asian inspired styles. Because I think customers now, like a non-Asian based customer, when they think about Asian fashion in general, it's still more of the traditional, hanbok or like qipao or like long robes. They're like, oh, that's Asian fashion. That's Asian culture. But they don't, I feel like they're not, because they haven't seen enough. Like we need to, I don't want to say like brainwash, but we need to like make sure that they're educated and make sure that there is an abundance of availabilities for them to notice that, hey, oh, I see that there's a change. I see that there's so many new styles coming out that's also Asian inspired. I feel like as soon as they notice that difference, it will be much easier for them to, accept it or like wanting to include that into their daily wardrobe.
Because like what you're wearing right now is one of the, especially unisex season, later season pieces.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. I was like, is that a crew neck sweater? What kind of, you know, like educators, like what is?
Yeah, so this is our unisex hoodie actually, which is a
hoodie.
patchwork of our custom design brocade with a cotton fleece. And we also added a fleece layer inside because of New York. We launched this in New York during winter time.
Yeah.
We actually had I actually brought them as a gift to you guys as well. We have
I guess that brings
Our first gift.
yeah.
this literally never happened.
We never got a gift
no
before.
way.
Daisy,
No
chill out.
way.
What
Yeah.
the?
I mean,
Oh.
originally
How are you making money, Daisy?
We're not.
Come on.
We're not yet.
What a great surprise. No, I'm legit.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so kind.
No, of course,
Touch.
yeah. 'Cause
Wow.
It's just getting cold in LA. I never thought I'd be able to gift this hoodie in LA until like last week. I was like,
Now you
hey,
know,
it's the perfect
yeah.
weather for it.
I'll wear it.
Chilly.
Yeah.
Chilly.
I need it.
Yeah. So so we started introducing like more on breaking them down into elements. So you see the brocade as an individual highlight element. These are our custom design brocade buttons as well as a decoration.
Accents.
I see.
Yeah.
Instead of like the
Accents.
whole thing, I guess, just like,
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, so for
Yeah.
people to kind of like it makes it easier for them to accept it. Be like, okay, I can totally see myself wearing this with my casual denim, with my casual
Yeah.
cargo pants. Yeah,
Yeah,
we wanted to
yeah.
kind of make this entry point a little easier and accessible for both Asian and non-Asian customers. Yeah.
I think,
Sick.
yeah, one visual that sticks out for me is I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like a butterfly top. So it's like knots in the back. It's like a blue top that you guys have.
Oh, with
I-
the butterfly vest?
Yeah, on the
Oh,
back.
no,
yeah.
the apron top.
The apron top, yeah.
Yeah.
I legit like saw some of those pieces and I remember thinking like, wait, didn't Cat's Eye wear this?
Yeah.
Like, because it very much fits with the aesthetic of like young fly girl like type of like vibe where it feels very current, and the cultural styling is very subtle. I that was the first thing that stuck out to me, and it's like even seeing your guys' branding and how you market your products on your website and on social. Yeah, it's like United Colors of Benetton. It's like every ethnicity.
Yeah.
So all of that is very intentional, I guess.
It was very intentional because I think that's also like back to my background growing up. I feel like even now in China, like in mainland, people, if we see someone, a foreigner wearing our clothing, our first reaction is to be proud. We're like, oh, they're at least trying to learn something out of this. They're trying it on. That means they wanted to express something about their love for this culture, even though it might be something super traditional. I mean, it is a complete like touristy scene. I feel
Renting a handful.
renting a handful or renting like the emperor or like the empress like whole outfit. You will go to the palace, take a photo.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
such
those.
a trend. Yeah, and you see like so many more like foreigners doing this other
Yes.
versus like Chinese, and you don't see anybody against it
Interesting.
because people would be like, wow, like they're loving it. As a Chinese perspective, I am so happy that they're loving it. Versus, well, that's also goes back to like the appropriation stuff. Yeah.
It's a very fraught conversation in America because I think like the earliest examples where it's like, oh, this could be no is like Pocahontas wear. People wearing like Native American headdresses where like America literally genocided those people,
Yeah.
and you're like just like taking their stuff and
Yeah.
using it as costume. But I like how you yourself pointed out like as long as it's not like in costume form or in mockery, that it's totally fine, that people actually appreciate the effort to want to engage with the culture.
Yeah, because I feel like as a Chinese, like, see if I'm seeing this foreigner, you know, wearing that empress outfit, taking photo shoots, in my back of my mind, I was like, oh, she's gonna post it on social media, on Facebook, on internationally platforms to celebrate this part of the culture that people probably don't even know what the outfit from a Qing dynasty looks like. And then that to me is an entry point of education, that she's showing the world that, hey, this part of the culture probably haven't been well known or probably haven't been seen much in the Western world.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
know,
a very
like,
different perspective.
Asian.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that scene in like an Asian American person or maybe Chinese American, Korean American, when they see pictures like that of non-Asians wearing that outfit, because of the trauma we have of being in
Yeah.
America and us wanting to be perceived or portrayed or seen as regular humans, this kind of picture really irks a lot of us because we start to think, we go down this like rabbit hole where we're like, do people think this is what we just regularly wear? I just want to be seen as a human. I just want to be seen as a regular person. You know, I don't just wear all these like things and do kung fu and all the time. Like that's our trauma.
Yeah.
Especially as Americans. But like, you know, when you see, I even saw this video on YouTube where this white dude was walking around and he had this like Chinese ass outfit, okay? Very traditional. I don't know what the garb was, I can't remember, but he walked to a bunch of like just regular younger people, all not Chinese basically, but they were Asian Americans too. Everyone was like, yo, that's racist. Yo, that's blah, blah, blah. You know, being very negative towards him. But then he went to Chinatown. I think he was in New York. And he went up to a bunch of like older Chinese grandmas, you know, like aunties, uncles.
Like
yeah, they're like, oh, wow, it's a very beautiful outfit. And he's like, oh, for real? Am I allowed to wear it? Yeah, that kind of what you're speaking on and touching on is something that I think I really appreciate the healthy mindset that you have. And I hope that as a world, as a society, we can just heal and see cultural exchange as a beautiful thing that should be a mutual thing that's happening, you know?
Exactly, yeah. And I feel like that's because I think after I started up, that's when I had like more conversations like with our customers or like with more Asian American friends about this topic. And I didn't realize that how much hatred being an Asian American in the 90s, in the early 2000s means. Like, because I guess I was really fortunate in a way that I never got to experience that part of, you know, growing up in a public school where if I wear a qipao or if I wear anything traditional Chinese, I'll get laughed at or I'll get mocked at just because I wanted to be myself. But I feel like this is also, we're entering a completely new age where everybody is so happy and so proud to be presenting themselves, which is also, we can tell from our customer base as well. Like, I think when we first started off, it was still like, you know, the more like fashion people, like in New York, or, you know, the people that were like always looking for trends, versus now we're getting a lot more like younger generations. They're still probably in high school or like starting their college life. So for them to be wanting to purchase something from us or wanting to represent this part of their culture, that makes me so proud. I feel like that's my goal, is to kind of like, I guess we can never achieve that culture exchange unless somebody let that hatred go a little bit, because we have to forgive from some point. If they can't do that, we'll be the bigger person. But that's the only way that we'll be able to, you know, influence more people in a way that to showcase more of our history too.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Would you consider your brand streetwear? Or streetwear adjacent, or how would you categorize?
I think we definitely, when we first started off, because you can tell I'm a very casual streetwear inspired person. So when we first started off, we did market ourselves as a streetwear influenced brand. But I think as, you know, like what we were just talking about, all the different inspos, all the different transitions we're going through, we wanted to end up see ourselves as a lifestyle brand. As that if you think about modern Chinese, when it comes to a lifestyle, DAWANG will be the first thing that will come to your mind, which is also why we're, you know, currently looking for funding and all that, because we wanted to explore more categories, you know, from like lifestyle, home decor, like all of these smaller
yeah
things.
What's a DAWANG, you know, what's a house gonna look like, you know? How are we decorating the living room? I see where you're going.
I
That's
actually
tight.
have a whole folder saved up. I was like, if we ever get to build a DAWANG,
Nice.
this, all the inspos,
Very cool. Along with that, I know you guys just were at Complex Con in Las Vegas. What was that like?
Definitely a lesson and an experience for us. Yeah, because as a small startup, you know, we're still solo funded. We didn't have as much budget as a lot of the brands that, you know, did much bigger things or like much bigger decor. So I was really excited to be a part of it. You know, we prepped for it, I want to say probably starting like May till now, which is also
almost half a year.
Half a year. Also why I wanted to, I moved to LA like right before October, because we wanted to make sure we're settled in, and it will be a much easier access point for us to go from LA to Vegas. But yeah, I feel like I would definitely, people loved our stuff, but at the same time, I feel like we're not as loud as a lot of the brands, just because my
Interesting.
personality is more on the introvert side as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we didn't bring our full like Dawang glam to the show for sure. Yeah,
Interesting.
just like
Oh.
budget wise, it was a big concern for us because besides the rent, we literally had no budget to even think about like how are we gonna decor this whole space
Or even
out.
catch the eyeballs.
Exactly.
Because there's so many. Well, I haven't been to Complex Con yet.
Yeah.
But from the pictures, it seems like people make these very like interesting, like I don't know,
like
setups.
interesting moments. It's really not about, because we kind of imagine, I guess I also haven't been, which is also like my bad. I should have at least come and checked it out before we even tried to attend. But yeah, I kind of imagined this more of as a showroom, as like a trade show showroom. So we tried to bring as much as possible. I was like, I want to show you guys what modern Chinese lifestyle is. We brought like more than, I think, over 30 styles. So we had like 3 different racks.
So basically, your whole catalog was out there.
I literally had a
wow.
whole debate like the day before we leave. I was like, should we bring more? Like, is there anything else that I'm missing?
Wow.
Yeah.
Versus like most of the other brands, they would highlight, like it would be the eye-catching piece, probably like 2 to 3
Comics
different
Con
variations, and
exclusives.
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Versus
Yeah.
so we completely went for like a different approach,
Yeah.
which is also a lesson learned. But I think my personality is like I can't give up after one try. So we're definitely still wanted to redo it next year with a better planning, maybe a better
Yeah.
budget. Yeah,
Wow.
go through.
I think for overall fashion trends, like everyone knows the Met Gala, then there's is it CFED or
CFDA.
Yeah, CFDA.
Yeah.
Like everyone's throwing a gala now. So obviously very like trade show versus gala, very different. But the fact that there is so much attention on like really highlighting the theatrical and glam aspects of fashion.
Yeah.
Does that create like interesting pressure for a brand like yours where it's like, man, we need to make a splash, but we need to stick to our core competencies because we need to make money?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, exactly. Because I feel like that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to move to LA, or why I would get so many depressions in New York. I mean, besides like the winter, the weather is too terrible. Also, it's just because the hustling part, like you always see some kind of a new fashion event, a new fashion launch, a gala going on in New York. There's also always an event, always a drop, always a launch.
Yeah.
Every other week, there's a new brand doing something.
Oh.
And that, I feel like, gave me so much anxiety that I was like, okay, we have to do something. We have to hustle for the next season. We have to
It's like
do
a rat
our limit.
race.
It's a rat race. So I still remember, I think you mentioned that you always start a brand in New York, but you grow and, develop the brand in LA, which I feel like makes
Build
so
the
much-
fan base here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, because I feel like right now my mentality is so much better versus when I was in New York, just because the lifestyle and everything. So I get to calm myself down. I'm not trying to follow up or catch up with like all the trends, all the events that's going on. So I can focus a little bit more on myself and the brand. Yeah, especially we're not trying to be a high fashion brand. Well, that's like my core value when we first started off, because loving history, back in Parsons, one of my favorite subject was actually fashion history. So learning about, all the fashion brands, or like all the bigger names that existed since like the 18th century to now, not a lot are still around.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when it comes to high fashion,
Yeah,
like high tailored fashion and all that, like Chanel, of course, like they have a bigger group
Timeless.
protecting them. But other than that, a lot of like the self-based, like very well-known, like gown event, kind of like those kind of designers, they would die off within like 10, 15 years.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
It's one style, or like
Couture, like basically.
couture,
Yeah.
And it's such a high cost for you to run a couture brand. I want to say most of the designers come from like an art background or a fashion background. They did not teach us how to manage a business.
Yeah.
They teach you how to design. They teach you how
Right.
to create a new collection. Every 2 months, every 3 months, you have to show something new.
Wow.
But they never taught you about how to sustainably manage the business,
Yeah.
which I think is very important. A lot of like friends would come to me, be like, oh my God, I really want to go to Parsons. I'm saving up for my tuition for Parsons. We're going to a fashion design school. My first suggestion will always be, you don't really have to. You don't really have to.
Wow.
Because I feel like design, we are all artists. We all have a very different perspective. We can all create something within like our own imagination.
Yeah.
It's more about how are you going to be able to run it? Are you going to be able to manage it in the longer cycle? That matters. So I always would suggest people to, learn a little bit more about the business side and the entrepreneurship side or management side before you, think about starting
I think
like a fashion business. Yeah.
that's fascinating because like so many of these elite like design schools, like Parsons is like the Harvard of fashion design, at least in the States, and like there's all these practical things that seem to be left like off the curriculum for whatever reason. So you're making this move to LA. Is it going to be DAWANG LA now, or like how does a fashion house make those decisions in regards to naming and all that?
Yeah, I'm really trying to, because our business is actually registered at DAWANG. It didn't have the New York in our business name. It's only on social media and our website because we started off in New York. That's when we first named it. I was like, okay, like New York makes sense, and I wasn't imagining me moving anywhere at that moment. 10 years up. I mean, it's 8 years back. But yeah, now looking at it, I think our eventual goal is to be bi-coastal, to be international.
Nice.
So we wanted to take that location out of, I've been following up with this girl who owns the name Dawang on Instagram. Like she registered.
Oh, no.
I've been checking on her. Like I've been trying to add her on
Dawang.
as a friend. I was like, hey
Yeah.
girl, like I'm willing to trade off or pay you off.
Yeah.
You can get us that.
Go get this
official
money, Dawang. Come on, man.
Yeah. If you see this, please let me know. But yeah, that was eventually we wanted to adjust it to just Dawang. Yeah, so you can see us everywhere without that. Oh, it's a New York aesthetic. It's a New York style. Like we wanted to take that kind of like.
I mean, but like if you have like New York or London or Paris on it, doesn't it have like a little zing to it? No, or, like...
That's true. Until we can be a little more international, I think that would be really cool to kind of like feature different kind of mix of modern Chinese elements into the different countries, the different aesthetics. Like I can totally imagine Dawang London will be a completely different style versus Dawang LA. Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
So something you mentioned before to me, like in a private conversation, was your own personal background in fashion, even before coming to the States, and like how that affects the way you do your line as well as the production and all that. So like you share a little bit of that, because I think that's really interesting that like your background back in Qingdao actually informs how you approach your brand.
Yeah, I think a little bit more about my hometown Qingdao. So we are very heavily influenced by Korean culture. Because I think we have like more than 3 million Korean population.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Wow.
We are the second largest Korean populated cities in China. The other one is our neighbor because we are right across from Korea. It's like an hour flight away. Yeah, so I grew up with half of my classmates being all Koreans. I was really into K-pop in my early teens.
So you were basically in LA, just on the other side of the world.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. And then growing up, I always loved like the Korean snacks more than like the Chinese ones. Like tteokbokki is my go-to. Like growing up, we had like different snack shops.
Dang, the jjajangmyeon must have been popping in Qingdao.
Yeah, it's so popular. Yeah, so I guess it wasn't until our conversation that I realized that I've always been open to the mix of cultures. I feel like that was like an entry point to me. I was like, wow, being Chinese and loving this Korean culture, nobody was telling me that, hey, this is not appropriate. This is, you gotta take this
Stop
test.
eating that jjajangmyeon.
Yeah, be like, you gotta take this test to show that that you understand our culture. You understand to me, I feel like because of that experience, I never realized that celebrating multicultural or like trying to provide a balance between cultures to have this mix is an issue. Until like later on. But yeah, also my background, because we're in Qingdao, so because we're so close to Korea and Japan, there's a lot of productions in Qingdao that tailors to import export to the nearest country. So like a lot of my childhood friends growing up, like their family is in production business, or like their family isn't, like my uncle is in the textile business. So that also gave us the advantage to being able to produce our custom brocade so early on at the stage, because normally you will see a brand that already got all the full fundings. They will be able to develop their own fabrics. We did this a little bit earlier on the stage, and also like the production side. So I've got so much help from my friends, my parents' friends who are in this industry that kind of like guided us through the journey, and also being able to produce at such a small quantity. This is the only way that we got the advantage to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually a big thing, huh?
Yeah, because normally you can't persuade, normal factories wouldn't be accepting orders like that's, like, you're only making 50 to 100.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, wow.
what are you doing? No, this
It's chump change to them.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm very grateful for my hometown and like my childhood experience that got me to where I am right now.
You also mentioned how like growing up as a kid, like sometimes aunties would just drop off clothes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So it's just like accessible to you, and that's why you strive to make your clothes at a more accessible price point.
Yeah, so like because of all the productions, so like my childhood friends, I still remember as like a weekend activity, we would go to like say one of my classmates' mom's office, and she would have like a table full of like different cargo pants, different like denim jeans and all that, and we will just be like, my mom will just be picking, because it's actually branded stuff that, you know, they just save samples based from their production and stuff. So I never saw fashion as such a, I need an entry point, or like I need to design a certain style for me to, you know, purchase something, versus that with whatever is available, how can we style it? How can I make it my own? I think that also ties back to the DAWANG part, where we're trying to provide you these elements for you to tie them up yourself.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, especially in the States, were conditioned where it's like, I have Chanel taste, but I have a Gap budget.
Yeah.
You know, and so like there's a very stratified like ladder of okay, what I can afford versus what I want. So that makes it very interesting that like you were exposed to something that kind of leveled the playing field.
Yeah. So yeah, I think growing up, I didn't really get to shop around much in malls with my mom, because there's always stuff available from friends or family. I'll be like, oh, this is cool if I pair it up with my own cargo pants from like 2 years ago or something. So it's been like a fun, before we had the conversation, I never realized that I had such an advantage, or like it's such a fun moment for me as a kid, like playing these like styling wardrobe moments with whatever is available at the time.
It's like having a fruit garden in your backyard where it's like, what do you mean you buy bananas? Like, what does that mean? Going back into your brand, do you have, like, given the history and culture that's associated with your brand, do you have a favorite era, style era, like, or even dynastic era that you draw inspiration from?
Yeah, I think I was really inspired. I am very, even though I know I talk a lot about don't go to design school, but I am very grateful for some of the classes I took at Parsons. One of them is history of Chinese fashion. I know it's no longer existing in Parsons, you should bring it back. But yeah, through that class was when I actually, even though I am 100% Chinese, born and raised in China, I didn't know specifically about the transition of Chinese fashion until taking that class. And the one era that intrigued me and also kind of like led to how we started off DAWANG was the late 19th century, late 19th century to 1800s to early 2000s, the end of Qing dynasty.
Oh, okay.
That's when you know we were forced to open gates, of course, like besides all the political part, but that's when I think over like 300-400 years, the first time we see Western influence come into China, where the ladies at the time, back then in Qing dynasty, you're not supposed to show any of your skin, hands of course, but everything has to be cut off right here. That was when the ladies or the women at the time, seeing all these Western fashion, Western trends coming in, they're showing their ankles, they're wearing dresses, they're showing up to their sleeves. Why can't we do that? So that to me is the first like revolution of like, you know, the entire, because throughout history, like women are, I want to say, definitely not at the same level as men, especially like through the dynasties, like Qing dynasty for sure. Like you can get 12 wives.
Yeah.
Yeah, same treatment. So I really love that it inspired the ladies at the time to revolutionize their fashion style. So qipao actually was born during that period of time as a mix of Western and Eastern influence. You know, inspired by the long robe, the chamsan from men's, the traditional men's long dress, to how can we raise it a little bit higher and higher? How can we snatch the waist a little bit, just to show it a little bit? So it's really fun if you see like the graphics from 1888,
the change, yeah.
like little bits. Literally, it would be like a 1 inch, 2 inch raise of the dress, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit shorter on your sleeves, a little bit shorter. So I was like learning about that. I was so proud at the time. I was like, yes, we should have done this way earlier. Progress. Yeah. So that was a very inspirational. But yeah, also at the same time, as a Chinese, I didn't even know that qipao was a baby of both cultures. So that inspired me to be like, if I don't even know about this, I'm pretty sure 80% of
most likely.
the Chinese people probably don't even know about this. So that's when I wanted to launch DAWANG. I was like, people need to know about this. People need to know that it is okay for us to mix both cultures and come up with a new baby.
Yeah, I can almost see that as like an exhibit for. I was still kind of thinking about your Complex Con.
Yeah. That would be.
But like, because I've been to conventions of all sorts, and sometimes like I was at a medical one, and they had like a heart monitor that they were selling, but to do that, they had like a person who was attached to a heart monitor, or they were like walking on a treadmill the whole time, and like having a live person there kind of like brought their product alive a little more. Versus, I mean, it's great to have like a huge set, which is, you know, it might be cheaper to have like a friend, you know, or a person, you know, who's like, I don't know, maybe rocking the eras, the different eras that you're blending, and that might catch the eye. Because I mean, they're not going to wear the whole garb, but if someone walking around in a streetwear convention saw that, they'd be like, oh, what is that? I feel like that might be interesting.
No, thank you. Yeah, I love that idea, and also just showcasing the progress of.
As like
imagining a mini gallery in this space.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
I'm gonna come to you before we
there you go.
Our next
Ideas
set out.
guy.
Cool.
Ideas guy.
Yeah,
I love that. Thank you so much for.
Yeah, I hope it helps.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think like we don't talk about politics often, but like so much about fashion and self-expression, there's a political element to it. And something I've often pondered is how generally for a lot of different Asian cultures, even like East Asian, Southeast Asian, and South Asian to a certain extent, it's more culturally acceptable for women to fully ethnic garb out. But for men, I think especially for East Asian and specifically Chinese culture, it is seen as costumish. Because like something that I've never gotten a straight answer on this, but it's like a lot of like for the holidays, for Lunar New Year, women will often wear qipao or like or even straight up hanfu to celebrate. But it is very common for men to just stay in contemporary wear or Western wear. Is that something you ever considered? Because it's I know DAWANG is still mainly a women-leaning brand, but like with your unisex offerings, I think it's very interesting that you're introducing those small touches that still feels very modern.
I do think, in a way, I can't say it for you guys, but I feel like Asian male in America tend to get more hatred or like.
It's probably true.
It's
in
probably
a way versus
if
women.
comparatively.
So like I would say
agree.
like girls would get away with a lot of things versus like being a male Asian in America.
Just being a target.
Is a target. So I feel like in a way that we are a little bit more sensitive to it at the same time. Be like, oh, like my wife can totally wear this, but if I do it, so many people's gonna judge me based on my experiences from the back. But also it was a really, I think I was 4 years back, Chinatown, like New York Chinatown, had a huge celebration for Lunar New Year, and they posted out 2 photos. It was 2022 versus, I want to say it was 1980 something, or it was like around a 50-year gap.
Okay.
But the outfit they had in the photos are exactly the same style. This is exactly how traditional they are. It's just maybe in a different color.
Interesting.
And the minute I saw it, I was like, this is why we're doing what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Like, we need to let people know that there is so many more modern versions. I think also ties back to, like, I don't want to say like men's don't follow trends. They don't follow like new trends as much when it comes to the sun. So maybe there has been a lot more modern Asian brands popping up, but because we're not at a mainstream level yet, so I can't say for all male customers, but maybe I wanted to try something, but I don't even know about this.
That's true.
Or I haven't, if you tell me about this brand, I would love to try it. I would love to show my support, but before I've even learned about it, maybe in my mind, I was just like, I can only turn to whatever is available.
It's interesting when you say it that way, because like for the silhouette of a man, like it's very masculine to have very sharp edges, you know, like having that silhouette, you know. But if you have like garbs that are maybe flowy or maybe not, I don't know, like that doesn't, I guess, read as more masculine. So I can understand why for many guys you're sticking to this like traditional or known, you know, trusted formula of keeping things, you know, very like, masculine, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I love suits. I love, you know, keeping things fitted, you know, but there's freedom in exploring different silhouettes that fit your body type. Yeah. And for many guys, like, you know, we know like finding your own style is already hard enough. So like just stick to
one style.
Stick to that. And, you know, if you stray from it, like you don't even explore that much. So like, people aren't gonna go, dudes aren't gonna go past this. You know?
I feel like it's definitely like when you guys were talking to Jeff earlier, I was like, like you can definitely tell like guys don't follow or like they're not thinking about styling. 90% of their time. It's probably like 5 to 10% of your entire capacity, versus girls, we might be spending a lot more time online, and also the algorithm will be pushing a lot more like fashion trendy stuff towards like the female targeting versus
and girls are familiar with looking at something and trying to imagine it on their own body type. Girls are, I think, a little more seasoned or cognizant of that. Whereas I feel like I'm just starting to realize, when I see it on that dude, all right, he's hella skinny. All right, so it's gonna look very good on him. But on me, where I'm a little, you know, thicker, like it's not gonna sit the same way. So I need to try it on. I have to know I have a longer torso. So all right, if it's too long, it's gonna look weird. I started thinking like this, but I would consider myself more on the rarer end. Most dudes are like, cool T-shirt, bet. All right, I'll wear it. And then it probably looks. I like the design, and it's true. It's a good design, but it looks really good because a model is wearing it, and his frame is like this, but it may not look like that on you.
I love that because we just started offering customization. So like if you want something a little more formal, a little bit, you know, for like galas or events, we do tailor to that, like based on your whole design. All the female customers, friends I've had, they all know what they want. They'll be like, girl, this is the inspo. I know I'm so good in this, versus the few like male customers, friends I had 2 friends that were really specific. He was like, I am the exact same build as this actor. We're the same height, same weight, same everything. So I know whatever looks good on him is gonna look good on me.
Hey, you know,
so he ended up like even from the color to the design and everything, he shared me an exact. He would be like, just check out this outfit. He looks so good in it. I'll be the perfect exact same model, like the exact same mix and match.
Would you say that it translated? Or
it definitely, I think it translated well, and he was really happy, like from the color to like the whole fit. But it was a very like that was my first time encountering. I was like, wow, I didn't know that you can have like a 100% set model
body double,
a body double. Like whatever I see it online that he's wearing, I know I can just grab it.
It's crazy. I do that. Like I don't look at
I don't look at
Timothy Chalamet and think that outfit. No, I look at like someone who has a build like me, like Drake. I'll look at Drake. I'll be like, if it looks good on him, it probably will look good on me.
So I feel like that's the difference between like female and male customers in a way too. Like we definitely want to build our own thing versus I feel like more male customers will have like a formula.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I don't want to spend so much time or so much energy just on
I want to fit the mold.
all the outfits. Yeah, let me just fit the mold. And we know that it will never go wrong. Yeah.
Off of that, do you have a favorite piece where it's like, man, like this is something you're like very proud that you guys came out with?
I think as the founder, I have a lot of favorites for
Yeah,
sure.
of course.
But,
Which
all
was your
babies.
favorite kid?
yeah, but like the butterfly top that you were talking about, the apron top.
Yeah.
So it was actually inspired originally from Dudo. So Dudo is like the traditional, I want to say like underwear for the
Chinese women undergarments,
yeah,
bra.
like
Yeah,
undergarments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't supposed to be shown. Like unless we're getting married, you see me undressed and seeing that, like nobody would ever get to see that. And that really intrigued me. I was like, people wear bras outside now with a tank top.
Yeah,
like we gotta show it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that has been my all-time favorite, and you can tell from like our drops too. Like we've kind of given up a few styles over the years, but Dudo is the one baby that will always bring it back per season in different colors and different variations.
It's your little black dress. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very cool.
I saw you. I think you worked with artists and made custom pieces for them too.
Yeah.
When you look at a person who's coming to you for a custom piece, like, is it usually they're like, all right, I trust you, do it. Or is it like what you said, like, hey, this is generally what I like, and you don't stray too far from that? Like,
yeah, I think we always would get the comment first, be like, I trust you, whatever you want. But as the designer, as the founder, I was like, it has to be, especially as a custom piece. Like, I'm not trying to sell you based on our collection. It has an inspo, it has a story behind it. If it's a custom piece that's for you, you have to like it. You have to love it more than I do. That means that I have to tailor to your custom experience. So I would always, we always actually start from like a color theory with our customer. I'll be like, give me your top favorite 3-5 colors. Let's start from resourcing the swatches based on different textiles, different brocade. Let's settle on what you like the best first. And then design details as well. I was like, you are the one that's going to be wearing it. And to me, sustainability in fashion comes to a part that if I love this piece enough, I'll always bring it back. Versus if it's a one-time outfit, then to me that's not sustainable. No matter how they process the outfit, how they patchwork, recycle everything. If it's a one-time piece, and in the longer term, it's still not sustainable. So I wanted to make sure that you love this enough, which is also, we offer a lot of like reversible styles, because I want to make sure that with the purchase, with the piece you get to try
multiple
it or
wears.
wear it multiple.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So to me, I feel like tailored to the customer's likes is much more important than me trying to insert myself, be like, you have to trust me. This is the best look. This will make you the most skinny. This will
Yeah.
It's not about that. I feel like it's you as the customer. You have, once you try it on, I'll be like, wow, I can see myself wearing this in other different scenarios, which is also like even for wedding dresses, when we're like the tea ceremony dresses that we design, I'll also ask the customer, would you ever imagine yourself wearing this in the future? Because if you are going to reuse it, rewear it, we have to figure out a way, how can we make it a little more diverse or a little more transitionable, that maybe like, say we can trim it to a skin, like a shorter skirt for you, or like adjust some of the details. Even after this wedding ceremony, it will still be a piece that you can keep and, keep bringing it back in your daily lifestyle.
Yeah, I think you did that with like Tiffany Day. She's like an artist.
Yeah.
I like her music, so I was pleasantly surprised when I saw like you. Yeah, I think that was one of the artists that stood out to me.
Yeah, that's also like, I feel like getting starting up the brand, I met so many friends like Mark, like you guys, like Tiffany, all like through completely organically, because we share this love, because we want to support our community, we want to support our culture. So I am really grateful, like all the friends are always supporting us.
Yeah,
that's
through
awesome.
different
Cool.
ways. Yeah.
Wow.
I think, just to wrap up, you have spent half of your life in China, half of your life here, and of course going back and forth. We're definitely living in very interesting times, kind of like almost like some would call a passing of the torch. Other people would call it like a cataclysmic breaking of society. But I think just speaking personally, like I've always been a little baffled and frustrated with some often casual but sometimes overt racism specifically against Chinese people. And I think one of the inspiring things about your brand is you're doing so much to change people's perceptions. So I guess in wrapping up, like what is your outlook on, maybe not on world affairs because none of us can control that, but just how Chineseness and Chinese culture is perceived, and what you want to continue to do with your brand to change perceptions or update perceptions.
Yeah, no, I think definitely in a way, I am grateful for boarding school because I never get to experience that, like, too much racism. I don't want to say, like, I didn't experience it at all, but not as much. But over all the experience I've had, I think a lot of people are targeting China in a way that they see China as a newborn baby after we formed the new country or, all that. They keep on forgetting that we have such a history or such a long culture difference throughout different dynasties, different stuff. So even though, in a way that I feel like even though they would be judging us for some of the stuff, in the same way, they still know that throughout our history, they respect us in a way that makes them, I want to say, fear a little bit, which is where a lot of the racism comes in. I think it's that, we know you were a big country, but you changed, and this change we don't approve.
Interesting.
To me, it feels a little bit like that way. It's just that, like, whatever you guys are going through right now, it's not the right way to do it. We are doing this the right way. You should learn from us. So to me, I feel like you starting up the brand, or like over the past 5 years, like Asia as all of the countries, I feel like we are all growing so substantially that people are changing that perspective. People are like, oh wow, like look at China, look at Korea, look at all these Asian countries now, versus starting of 2000. They think we're
Very
so
different.
Underdeveloped.
Yeah.
They think I will still get questions be like, oh, so do we actually see buffaloes on the street? do you guys actually have kids like sitting on? I was just like, which documentary did you see? Like, which era did you? Yeah, or like those kind of stuff. I was just like, it's really up to us to showcase and let people know where we are at now. What's the difference now versus 20 years back?
It's on us.
Yeah.
You heard it first, folks, from Daisy herself. It's on us.
No, for sure. And like the education as well, I think is a big part. Like how we have to be proud of what we have first before we can share it to anybody else.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, for our first guest that has ever brought us a gift, we have a gift for you.
Yay! Oh my God.
We got some shoes for you.
Yes, from our friends at 1587 Sneakers. Do you actually know?
Sam. Yeah.
Oh, okay, very
Sam is the
wow.
best. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, he always supports our events in New York. I think
Awesome.
that's when we first met.
Okay.
And then like
It's a
I've
community.
been wanting to
Okay.
try these on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got you some all-white pairs. These are a studio
I
pair
love
because
the
these are probably
details.
huge. But
Yeah,
yes,
no.
it
These
is.
are perfect.
We have some local GODZ exclusive 1587 sneakers. So you'll get to see all the details
Yeah,
when
I see that part.
the
This is
final.
different, right?
You'll get to see the details later.
Oh,
when
so
you
this
get
is
your
not
permit.
the God. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But but yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And, we love 1587 sneakers for representing Asian American culture and making really great products.
Yep.
All Italian leather. Great stuff. If you want your own pair, go to 1587sneakers.com. And for any of your purchases, if you use the code GODZ, GODZ20, again, that's GODZ, GODZ20, you can get 20% off any of your purchases.
Wow.
That's nice.
That's a good deal.
That's a
Black
fifth
Friday.
off.
Oh, not Black Friday. Sorry, I completely forgot. You guys.
Yeah, we're in the future now.
Yeah, we're in the future. Yeah. That's
Start
a
of the
fifth,
new year.
bro.
Get your new
Yes.
sneakers.
Yeah. But before we get into our final part, do you have any exciting things coming up for your brand for DAWANG in 2026?
We have our exclusive Lunar New Year collab coming out a collab and launch both
Ooh,
together. Yeah,
okay.
we're really excited to share. I think because in the past few years we've been trying to avoid using like red for Lunar New Year because I feel like it's such a
Too on the nose.
exactly
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this
yeah.
year is the fire horse year.
Ooh.
Year
Okay,
of
so
the
it
fire
works.
horse. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're
Oh.
launching our like a little off the red orangey grade
Okay.
fabric that's also custom
Oh.
DAWANG. So
Uh-huh.
I can't wait to showcase and some
Yeah.
new accessory items that we've never tested out before.
Okay.
We have a
I'll
horse on
grab
the
you guys a
podcast.
piece.
I know we have a horse right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
With
a.
fire horse here, you guys need to get a red version of this.
Oh,
like
that's
a
sick.
whole- yeah.
We can also color correct it to look
Yeah,
more.
yeah,
red,
yes,
Would.
indeed.
so-
Yeah, that'll be fire. Yeah.
Awesome. We always like to end our shows with 3 questions.
Yeah, so who is a local god? Someone you think is a local legend? Someone you think is underrated that we should all know?
I first thing came to mind was Mark and Jason because Jason
Yeah.
introduced me to Mark because I literally
Oh,
met Mark
Jason
3
Chu,
months.
past guest on
Okay,
the show.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I met Mark like 2 months ago at a gala. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Jason
But
Chu
he
was very
so
kind.
nice
Yes,
to show me
yeah.
around and everything, but I know we have to mention someone that's
Yeah, yeah. We
that
already know
hasn't
these.
shown-
We already know
yeah.
them. So we want
We're
some
not.
new.
I'm not a local guy. Jason Chu is.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
no, but you know all the good spots, like all the good restaurants. He's been showing me around. I was
Oh,
just like, I
God.
love like going to, especially like the
Yeah.
authentic restaurants. You don't see that on Yelp or like on reviews as much. I would recommend
yes.
Kayla Wang. She's the founder of Lang Los Angeles. They have a store in Chinatown.
Oh.
I think they started off 3 years ago. She's from Hong Kong, but wanted to start this concept store celebrating Asian artists, Asian designers.
Okay.
We had a friend that did the same thing in New York, so it was really amazing.
Huh.
When she
wow.
started off, she reached out to DAWANG to see if we can be featured in the store. So it kind of
Yeah.
was the first like home base for DAWANG to have like
Lang, you said?
Lang, Lang.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so like Lang Moi, like pretty,
Lang,
pretty
yeah,
girl.
so
yeah.
their Chinese
pretty,
logo is
yeah.
actually Lang. So which also I feel like we connected instantly because
Oh.
DAWANG is also a direct translation
Yeah.
I see, I see.
from that. Yeah, so Lang means like beautiful,
Yeah,
pretty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, next we want to know like what's a favorite restaurant you have? Like anywhere in the world.
And what's your order?
Yeah. What are you ordering there?
I think growing up, I've always been very spoiled that all my best friends are foodies, so I never had to like pick and choose. So I always go with whoever recommends something. I know it's good, but if I have to go back to roots, I would say our wild wonton. We call it 野馄饨. So I know
Wild wonton?
Yeah,
It sounds kind of
it's actually
scary.
not a dish or a food.
Sounds
It's actually-
alive.
yeah, it's like a lifestyle in Qingdao where like midnight snack, like late night snack. If
Oh,
you finish clubbing, if
interesting.
you finish, something later in the night, there will be these like small vendors literally on the street that sells you barbecue, like Chinese barbecue and wonton on the side.
Oh.
You'll always, so that's when
Oh, a
like
good
wild
combination.
wonton like that word came
Oh,
into phrase. It's
yeah.
just like it's wild because you're literally just sitting on the street
Yeah.
and there's like no shelter, no nothing. You're just like sitting like
Yeah.
closer to the floor, eating barbecue and your wonton. So that was actually the first name I was thinking
Wow.
about for that one. I was like, wow, wonton, representing my city and my culture.
That's cool.
Yeah, but then I asked a few friends around. They're like, this sounds like a restaurant, not a
it's fair point.
not a brand.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're ever gonna be in China, I would definitely suggest like
Wild
if you're
wonton.
gonna be in
You can have like a
Qingdao.
wild series in your, the
Yeah.
word wild
Oh,
is kind
that
of
would-
cool.
He's
he's
such
an
a good
ideas
inspo.
guy.
Yeah,
Ideator.
seriously.
That's true.
You should
I
do like
do
a
like that.
consultation for like
Yeah.
creatives.
Maybe.
I
Maybe.
love that. Yeah, but yeah, so that's definitely something that I always miss. Like I would want to just. I feel like it's more of the lifestyle and the vibe that you get to hang out,
Got it.
late night
Yeah.
on the street.
That's
still
a
have
great
something
concept. Even just trying to,
Yeah.
I can't even visualize it, but since you already know it, bringing it to
Yeah.
life, that would be so cool. I would love to see that or maybe
Right.
experience it one day.
Do a pop up.
We should
Do as
do
a
a
pop
That's what I'm
pop-up.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that would
exactly
be
that style.
cool.
That's exactly the
The
beauty
point.
of a pop-up. So that we
Yeah.
can't travel to Qingdao,
Yeah.
maybe
Bring it
one
to
day,
us.
but
we
bring it to
can
us. That's tight.
totally.
That's actually really cool.
Lunar New Year.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a cool concept.
Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
soon.
yeah. And the last one is, what's like your favorite music album that you come back to?
My favorite, I want to say Lana Del Rey. I mean, I did go to Coachella last year just for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just to see her?
cool.
Just to
Oh
see her,
my
and I
wow.
missed the last part. I thought they were ending, so we left early
no.
before the fireworks and everything came. So that was completely my bad. I'm so sorry to my best friend Abby. Like I kind of dragged her away from that. But yeah, like Lana Del Rey, I feel like that fits more of my mentality and my vibe. You're a little slower, a little chill.
Okay.
Hike at the beach, you know.
Okay.
That mentality is what
Which one of her albums?
I don't follow.
Oh,
Born
okay.
to
Or a song?
Oh,
Born to Die.
yeah,
Born to Die.
That was her
That
like
was
her
her one of
big
her
one, yeah.
first,
Yes.
first
Yeah.
few albums,
You're
yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
Solid.
but yeah, High by the Beach is definitely a favorite.
Okay.
I feel like
Okay.
that describes why
Yeah.
I wanted to
Awesome.
be in LA too.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
All right. Well, Dawang LA coming soon. But if for people that don't already know or follow you online, how can people follow you? Look up your stuff. Look up Dawang.
Yeah, I'm hoping one day if you search up modern Chinese, we'll be the first one to pop up. But at this moment, if you search Dawang, like DAWANG, we're online on Instagram, TikTok, slowly building our Pinterest mood boards at the moment. But yeah, we are a D2C brand, so you'll be able to see our website probably on the top of the search as well.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Folks, if you like Local Gods, please like, subscribe, follow, rate us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace.